Ain't shit change. Real talk though. Niggas know how I do it. It's every time. No, I'm back, so they gon' jump on board. Young and black, I'm only 24. I ain't sure what God got in store. Let it pour, let it come from the core. Drawed on the E-way, the will of sport. Been a bull, axe, I'm still a bull. Sending horse back to different boys. He need to relax, I send him boys. Murders at the max, the clip is full. Better watch your back.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode number 13 of the hashtag whyisthisnews podcast. I have not done this podcast in almost since August. I was supposed to do it and bring it back again in Thanksgiving, but unfortunately I had other stuff I was busy with, didn't have time to sit down and fully record for an entire podcast of topics, stuff like that. But I'm here now, ladies and gentlemen. I am here, and we've had a lot of stuff to go down, especially today. Big news has just come down about 6ix9ine. We're going to get into that. Also, we're going to talk about a little bit of sports. We're going to talk about this New England Patriots scandal that is going on right now. And then we're also going to talk about the unfortunate death of Juice Wrld. I have not given my thoughts on it yet on really any social media platform and stuff like that. But I'm going to give my thoughts here today. It has been, I think, over a week now since he passed away, and we're going to talk about that as well. But first, we're going to talk about this sentencing that just came down as I'm recording this about an hour ago. That is, Tekashi 6ix9ine is getting a total of 2 years. He's been sentenced to 2 years in prison, which in turn, actually, since he's been in jail for 13 months now, is essentially 11 months in prison, and he will be on 5 years probation when he gets out. And the potential of him be doing an appeal to possibly get out in 9 months as well, because you can, after you serve about 85% of your sentence, you can do an appeal. If you have good behavior in prison, you can potentially get out even earlier than that. So he could be out as late as November and as early as September of 2020 is when this man can be out. So, this man has taken a huge, when I tell you a huge W, he has taken a huge W. This is one of the biggest W's maybe of 2019 this year. For this man to go from potentially having a minimum of 45 years in prison to just being in jail for a total of 2 years is remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. And it's all because he literally told everything. He snitched on everybody in the Treyway. He snitched about everything. He told about everything. Even the judges were shocked on how much information he was giving. But that was Tekashi's only way for him to get his sentence and reduced to the way it was. He had to do this in order to get out of it. Now, there's been multiple things to come out reports saying that Tekashi 6ix9ine saying that they fucked his baby mama, his crew, the Treyway, they fucked his baby mama, stuff like that. I mean, how true that is, we don't know. So the people would try to say that that's a reasoning behind 6ix9ine on why he would go ahead and snitch about everything if he knew that kind of stuff. I don't know, but this man this is amazing to me that this man only got 11 months in prison compared to what he was supposed to get. And now it's just a matter of when he gets out, what is it going to be like? How protected is he going to be? Is he going to have security, 24-hour security? Is he going to continue living in New York? Personally, I would not live in New York anymore. He cannot live in New York. I almost would say he shouldn't even live in the United States of America. Because the amount of people that do not like this man it is crazy to me. It's just people would do anything to get their hands on this dude right here. Like anyone would do anything to get their hands on Tekashi 6ix9ine. We don't know if he's gonna be the same person where he's just going to threaten and provoke other artists and other people to kind of try and come and get him and stuff like that. I don't know if he's gonna be on that kind of wave at all. If he is, he's really asking for it, and I think no security is gonna hold them back from trying to get at him. I mean, music-wise, I mean, I've never been the biggest fan of Tekashi 6ix9ine's music. I've never really been the biggest fan of his music. It's a matter of if he's going to, if him being in jail and all the situation is going to matter when he puts his music out. I honestly think, from what I've been seeing on social media, I don't think it's gonna matter. The fact that he snitched, I think this man is still going to be able to produce hits. He's going to be able to produce music at a very high rate. I wouldn't say that he's going to be on the wave where he's always on the billboards every single song he puts out. Like every single single, like the first few singles he puts out, I think for sure is probably going to hit the billboards, because there's going to be so much hype around him when he gets out and what song he's going to put out first, because that was his big deal about being on the billboards and stuff like that. That was his biggest thing he flexed about, was being on the billboards. I just don't know what if is he gonna make. The other thing is he gonna make the same music as he was making before, where he's rapping about gang violence and stuff like that? Is he gonna be on that wave still, because you snitched? And you snitched on people, so really are you even credible to even talk or even rap about stuff like that? People will look at you different now because you snitched. Is your music going to be received the same? I don't believe so. So do you go to making the Mexican beats songs, some of the Mexican songs you was making? Do you go to start becoming that kind of artist, like an Annual A or a Bad Bunny? Do you become one of those kind of artists when you come out? Or do you, like, what exactly is going to be your angle in music? Like, what exactly do you guys think Tekashi 6ix9ine's angle in music is going to be? It's going to be very, very interesting to see what this man does when he gets out. As long as he doesn't do anything stupid in jail, which, I mean, for the first 13 months, it doesn't seem like he's done anything to knowledge in prison that was dumb. Like, I think, I forget what person it was, the artist that punched a police officer in jail, and he ended up getting a sentencing even longer. I think it was, I don't know if it was Kodak or someone. I can't remember at the top of my head right now, but I know it was someone in the hip hop community that hit a police officer that's in jail right now, and ended up getting a sentencing even longer because he was because he hit a police officer. I think it was Kodak. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was Kodak. But I think he's probably gonna get it in 9 months. I have seen the suggestion of him doing only 2 months, and then him being like on like someone said like a semblance of like a house arrest, where he would technically be out, but he wouldn't be allowed to leave like the house. So like he would be there until the next like I think like 7 months of his 7 to 8 months of his sentencing, where he would still be able to obviously record music. He could put it out and still be able to record music, stuff like that. I don't think that's gonna happen. I think this comparison was just to the City Girls. One of the City Girls, she's doing that right now, but her situation was for a credit card issue. There's reason why she was in jail in the first place, but she got out of there because, like, I mean, credit card issues, is that really something to put someone in complete prison for, like that, and not allow them to be able to do some parts of the career that they can do potentially from home? I mean, yeah. So, yeah, you guys let me know what you guys think about this sentencing. Also, it says the judge imposed 300 hours of community service when you get out, and a fine of $35,000 as well that he's gonna have to do. So I mean, that's expected. That's expected. What else? I mean, let's see. Yeah, 24 months in prison, 5 years of supervised release. Supervised release, which also means probation, basically. So he has to report to his probation officer and stuff like that, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you guys can let me know again what you guys' thoughts are about this case. This case, this just came down. I was waiting for this sentencing to come down and waiting to see what his sentencing was going to be. A lot of people thought he was going to get out today. The judge shut that down immediately in the beginning. If you guys don't follow this dude, I don't follow him, but I was looking at his Twitter whenever this case was going down. Inner City Press, he was the one that was giving the word-for-word statements in the courtroom as they were happening. And he basically, when he first thing that the judge said was, there's no way you're getting out today. People think that the judge saw all the people, seemed like the internet was getting excited for the fact that Tekashi 6ix9ine just might be able to be coming home. And it seemed like the judge was like, no, you're not coming home today. Not today. Not today. Not today. Not on my watch. I'm going to make a stand against that. But the fact that you cooperated with us, you cooperated and told literally everything, we're just going to give you 11 months. In the beginning, it sounded like he was about to get a long sentence. In the beginning, the judge was really talking about the incident with Trippie Redd, the incident with Chief Keef. I mean, it seemed like the judge was not playing any games at all in the beginning. And then I can't remember if it's a he or she, I can't remember. But the judge went on to say that about the things that Tekashi did do, as far as like telling everything about how the Treyway and how everything worked in the gang and stuff like that, snitching on Shotty and everything else. So yeah, this is a crazy turn of events. Crazy turn of events that has happened, and we shall see what this means for Tekashi moving forward for his career. Is he gonna be that dude? Is he gonna be able to release music at the level that he was when he wasn't in jail? We shall find out. So the next story that we are going to get in today is the Spygate story with the New England Patriots. I have wanted to talk about the situation for a little bit of time, but I wanted to do it on the podcast because I wanted to give a little more in depth into this situation, because the Patriots need to be punished. They need to be punished, and they need to be punished severely in a way that will make it a point for them to stop this. So for those that do not know or have been living under a rock, the New England Patriots have been accused of Spygate 2.0. So I actually have a little bit of insight about this as well that I can give you guys about this situation as well, because I have a job with SFA for the where I film for practice and for football games, so I know how this filming stuff is supposed to work and the rules and regulations behind it. So I can give you guys a little bit of insight on that as well. So with this, New England Patriots, they were accused of filming the Cincinnati Bengals sideline during their scout team. They were doing a practice on the game field. They was recording the sidelines, and it seemed like the dude was recording the signals of the Cincinnati Bengals to try and get, as you know, they done before a competitive edge and knowing what they're doing. My first question is, why against the Cincinnati Bengals that have won one game this year? Why is it, of all teams that you get caught doing this with, it's the team that is the worst team in the NFL. The worst team in the NFL, by far. And you guys beat them very well. It was a close game probably the first half, but then you guys eventually pulled away in the second half. But why the Cincinnati Bengals do you have to do that? I understand that Bill Belichick is all about perfection, and you don't get to where you are without perfecting your craft and everything else, and you don't take any sort of trap games. Like you potentially lose to a team that you're not taking seriously and end up losing a game you shouldn't lose and stuff like that. Same thing happened to the Houston Texans a couple weeks ago against the Denver Broncos, a team that they should beat, but they end up losing to. But it's just interesting to me that it's the Cincinnati Bengals of all teams that you get caught with, of all teams. That's the most interesting part of it. But the video came out, I believe, this week, where they showed one of the Cincinnati Bengals representatives questioning the Patriots dude, who he was a part of. The thing that is a part of is Kraft Productions, and that's Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots. And he was questioning him to figure out why he was filming the sidelines. And he was like, oh, that's my fault, that's my fault, that's my fault. But you can clearly see in the video him purposely recording the sideline. Now, here's where my insight comes in on this. So, as I told you before, I film for the football, for the SFA, Stephen F. Austin State University football team here at the school. I film for practices. I film for the games and stuff like that. So they have game film to review over time. Now, we are instructed to only film the game only, and that's it. You're not allowed to record anything else. You're not allowed to record the sidelines of other people's sides, as to see signals and stuff like that. You're not allowed to do that at all. You're not allowed to do that. Now, we weren't technically told this rule, but I am aware of the rule of that is a no-no, that you're not supposed to do that. Especially on the road, for road games as well, because for football games you have the overhead where they have all the press and media on one side, and that's usually where you film football games. That's usually where you film them. So usually when you're at home games, you're usually going to be on the press is usually on the home side. So on away games, if you're the away team, you're right below your team you're going against. You're not allowed to film their sideline at all. But also, college football teams have taken precautions about this, and I know for sure at SFA what they do is they have a huge black screen, black screen, and they have it above the coaches. They especially have it above during timeout, so people can't not see from down below that are in the press box can see what exactly they're talking about, what the discussions are, what signals and adjustments they're making during the game. That is done in college football. That is done in college football. I don't see that too much. When I've gone to NFL football games, I have rarely ever seen NFL teams have any sort of black screen like that to cover people from seeing signals and stuff like that. That's one thing I think NFL teams should start doing if they don't want this to ever occur at all. I think this is one thing that they should start doing, is covering up. Now, you don't expect this to happen during a scout team during a practice. Now, apparently the Patriots person that was recording this was saying it was for a documentary that they're doing, mini documentary series that they're doing for the Patriots, stuff like that. But I mean, you can clearly see that the dude is recording it. Now, whenever you're recording something, you don't just all of a sudden wander off and just start recording the scout team for that long amount of period of time. If you start recording something down low, it'll probably take you maybe a second or two. If you're dozing off or something like that, it'll probably take you a second or two to be able to quickly switch back, oh wait, I'm not supposed to be filming this, and be moving. That's not what this dude did at all. He was clearly and blatantly recording the Bengals sideline. It was clear as day. That's how I know when he gave the excuse of, oh, I did not know what I was doing, I can go and delete it right now. He's lying. He's lying. He knows exactly what he was doing. There was a report, I believe, 2 or 3 years ago that showed that what those Patriots filmers, those media people are supposed to say in the event that they get caught, saying that, oh, that's my fault, I can just delete the footage. There's the exact same, pretty much the exact same terminology that this dude used is pretty much exactly what was in that report believe 2 or 3 years ago. If I can, I have to find the report. It would be hard for me to find right now. I'm not gonna look it up right now for you guys. But if you guys can go find that report, it's a report out there showing exactly what the Patriots media people were instructed, that working for Kraft Productions, are instructed to say in the event that they get caught doing exactly what this dude got caught doing. So now, what does this mean for the Patriots, and what kind of punishment should they get? I think the only thing that would really do anything to prevent this is you have to suspend the man that is behind all of this. And I believe, even though he wants to say he has nothing to do with it, I believe he probably still has something to do with it, and that is Bill Belichick. I think you have to suspend Bill Belichick for at least for the the regular season and this postseason. You have to suspend him because the Patriots are obviously going to the playoffs. I believe they already. No, they have not locked up the division yet. The Buffalo Bills are still in play to potentially win that division, but they're most likely are going to be going to the playoffs. Now, most people do not believe the Patriots are even going to win the Super Bowl this year. Most people think it's either get out the AFC. Most people think it's either going to be the Ravens or the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm hoping that my Pittsburgh Steelers can maybe figure out a way. I mean, hey, it would be the biggest upset story of the year if Matt Thomas somehow got the Steelers to the Super Bowl and was able to win it and stuff like that, especially after losing Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. That would be the biggest indictment on Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown if he was able to figure out a way to pull it off. And he will be no doubt the coach of the year. It wouldn't even be a debate who the coach of the year is. But I think you have to suspend Bill Belichick for the year, for the rest of the season, because it's just too many times that this has occurred, and it's with Spygate, it's with Deflategate, it's with the audio cutting out with team coaches whenever games are going on. It's happening with the Steelers. I believe it's happened with the Ravens before when they've played them before. Like, it's just thing after thing after thing after thing with these New England Patriots, and I view them as cheaters. They are a franchise that has cheated for years and years and years, and they have been able to get away with it. And they have won some championships because of it. They have won some Super Bowls because of it. So I think you have to suspend Bill Belichick for the rest of this postseason, and rest of this year, rest of the postseason time, whenever all the stuff comes out. I think even if they don't I'm not sure how long this case is going to take. I'm hoping that they get able to get a decision in before the season is over, because if they don't, then it has to carry over into next year. Then I think the suspension has to carry over to next year. It can't just be, if it's just a postseason ban, the Patriots could just lose in the first round and you would just get suspended basically for one game. No. There needs to be a much higher punishment than that if they don't come up with a solution to try to send a message to Bill Belichick himself. Look, you may say that you were not involved in this, but we have a track record of you guys and reporting and evidence to show that you guys have been doing this in the past. You guys are known for doing stuff like this. So that is my biggest thing that I think that needs to happen, is Bill Belichick must be suspended for the rest of this postseason and potentially next year as well, in order to prove a point. Because taking away draft picks that they've done before, that hurts, but that's not like something that's going to completely kill the Patriots franchise, especially when you have the mind of a Bill Belichick and the mind of a Tom Brady. That's not going to kill the franchise. You have to send a message by taking one of them out. You took Tom Brady out before. That didn't work. You have to take out Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick is the next one that has to fall. And maybe even Robert Kraft as well. You may have to find him again as well. You might have to send him a message as well. I mean, I don't know how much you can really do to prevent it other than suspensions. to try and send a message that this will not be tolerated, because I believe if this happens again, I almost think you have to, someone has to be relinquished of their duties. After that, it happens again. I think someone has to, Bill Belichick, Brady, if he's still playing, Robert Kraft, if he's still the owner, they have to be relinquished of their duties. Like, they can no longer be the owner, no longer be the head coach of the New England Patriots, because this is getting ridiculous at this point. It's getting ridiculous. It really, really is. So, the last topic I want to talk about today is the passing of Juice Wrld. Now, he passed away on December 8th of 2019. That is when he passed away. It has been about a week and a couple of days since he passed away. He was 21 years old. Very, very unfortunate. It was probably the most shocking news I have gotten all of 2019. It just came out of nowhere. Like, you're not even thinking about Juice Wrld, his health, or him being in danger and stuff like that at all. Really, you're not even thinking about that at the moment. And then when it happens, it's like, whoa, what was this about? So, Juice Wrld in his music career, I mean, he was an artist that, he was a sad boy artist. He was the dude that he rapped about his feelings, about females and heartbreak. And he also rapped a lot about taking Percocets and lean and stuff like that. And that is what's the biggest takeaway from me in this case, is the fact that the cause of his death seems to be from him taking pills, because he was panicking, because apparently they had Juice Wrld and his crew had, I believe, they was found, and I believe, but what it's true, that they had 70 pounds of weed. That's probably, I think the report I saw is probably worth about $150,000 in weed. Like, that is a lot of money, smuggling weed like that. And I think that he got word that the police was there and they were going to question him about it and everything else. And he knew he had pills on him, and he panicked and he took them all at once. And not even minutes later, he had a seizure, and he was pretty much gonna, he was alive when he got to the hospital, but once he got to the hospital, they couldn't save him. So it's unfortunate. I honestly believe if Juice Wrld did not panic, he honestly could have gotten out of this with just probation. And that is because Juice Wrld was running. He runs with other people that he was running with. And if Juice Wrld is the moneymaker, then those other guys would take the plea. They would say that it was all their weed, it was all them. Juice Wrld had nothing to do with it. They would take the case and they would serve the jail time for it, not Juice Wrld. And Juice Wrld, just because he was there associated with them, he would probably get maybe a couple months in jail, or maybe just probation at the least. I would think that would be the least, is he would just get probation. And I think that, I mean, him panicking like that, I think it's just, he's never been in that situation before where he's really been in trouble with the police like that. I don't think I've never heard of Juice Wrld getting in trouble with the cops or anything like that, to my knowledge, ever in his career. I think he's been in the game for about 2, maybe 3 years now, where he's been really, really popular. I mean, it is amazing to me that, I mean, that it just happened so soon. Like, out of nowhere, this man's music. I liked his music. There's some songs I wasn't the biggest fan of, but there's other songs I really, really liked from him. People want to try and blame Future because Juice Wrld said he was the one that introduced him to lean, which was very eye-opening to me. When I learned about that, I was like, oh, that's not good for Future's sake. That, like, that comes down on Future, or Future already got enough to deal with already with the whole situation with him and Russell Wilson and Sierra. Like some people don't like him because of that, and now this just gives more people even more reasons to not like Future at all as a person, and so that sucks for him. They do have a whole entire mixtape together, which is actually pretty decent. It was actually a decent listen. I forget the name of the mixtape, but they do have a mixtape together. They had the hit off of that too, called "Fine China." That was a pretty big song that they made together. Even after Little Peep's death, even after that death, you wondered like if he was gonna stop doing it, and it just seemed like maybe he just hadn't quite fully stopped doing it yet. And so, I mean, it's just the fact that he even had those kind of pills on him. It clearly states that he still was somewhat coping with that issue. He still was coping with the issue of doing pills and Percocets, because I mean, you can get hooked. It can become an addiction. Like it can really bad addiction. And like a lot of people want to say like, people need to stop rapping about doing perks and stuff like that I've seen G Herbo say something to Adrenal Lucas where he felt like you don't know what people are going through. Some people have to take pills to try and cope with things, and it just shows how mentally ill a lot of people are in this world today. A lot of people take pills to try and cope with some of the struggles of everyday life. Like they have to take those kind of stuff to be able to be sane and be able to function well enough to be able to do things in life. And it's sad, and it's just the fact that, I mean, people sell these things, and it's a way to make money. It's a hustle, a way to make money off people that are struggling with stuff like that. And there's a pill to help you with your sanity. People are willing to take it, and it's unfortunate that therapy is looked upon. People don't want to go to therapy. People don't want to go to rehab and really talk about their problems and their issues and stuff like that. But sometimes that's what you need to do in order to really get out your emotions and try and deal with your mental state and stuff like that. Because, I mean, it's just a matter. It's just a bad situation, and we gotta figure out a way to do better and try to figure out a way to cope with this issue, and figure out a way what's best to prevent people from doing this, and also to prevent people from influencing others to do this kind of stuff as well. We got to figure out a way to prevent that as well. But yes, that is going to do it for episode number, I think I said 12, but this is 13 of the hashtag whyisthisnews podcast. I'll have to check back in and get it when I edit it, but I think I said 13, but I might have said 12. I can't remember exactly right now, but it is episode number 13. Like I said, I have been gone from this podcast. It's been almost 4 or 5 months now, but I am back. This is a weekly podcast deal. Usually I like to do it on Sundays, usually because either music has come out, I'm able to review it, give it a couple of listens, and I can review it on a Sunday or Monday and put out the podcast then. Also, if other stuff has come out, but I want to release it today, especially today, because of this whole 6ix9ine case that was going on. You guys let me know again, you guys' thoughts on that musically. What do you guys think he's going to do once he gets out? And do you guys also think is 2 years not enough for his sentencing that he got? Is 2 years not enough? Should he really have gotten those 37 years? And then with the Spygate situation, what you guys think that the NFL should do to the Patriots? Should they suspend Bill Belichick? Should they suspend Tom Brady? I've seen some people say that they should be banned from the postseason. Shouldn't be even allowed to participate in the playoffs. You guys let me know your guys' thoughts on that. And then RIP to the man Juice WRLD. Yeah. I am out. Peace.
6 truck stepper, I'm a select goon. I'm a shallow side trapper, I'm her Lauderdale boo. If you wanna get an answer, girl, it's all about the truth. You ever smoke, I give you smoke. Then I